All right, welcome to a brand new series where we're going to dive deep into the world of wireless attacks. We're going to pull back the curtain on the attacker's playbook, piece by piece, and we're starting with the biggest, most common target out there, Wi-Fi. Okay, before we jump in, a really important heads up. This is the first of a 10-part series, and it's all based on a massive research report called Wireless Attack Vectors, a comprehensive technical guide from Virtualization Options LLC. Now, everything we talk about here is strictly for informational and educational purposes. The full report itself, that's been classified as internal-only research. So what you're getting here is an exclusive look into its key findings, kicking things off with Chapter 1. So here's what we've got on tap for today. First, we'll get into why Wi-Fi is such a huge target in the first place. Then, we'll walk through the very first steps an attacker takes. We're talking reconnaissance, the tools of the trade, and then the first actual move they make, something called a deauthentication attack. So what are we trying to do with this whole series? It's simple, really. We want to demystify the attacker's playbook. We're going to break down the exact techniques used by professional penetration testers so you can see how these threats actually work in the real world. And just so you know, this isn't just theory we're pulling out of a textbook. The stuff we're exploring, it comes from the absolute cutting edge of security research. These are the kinds of techniques you see demonstrated live at huge security conferences like DEF CON and Black Hat, where the best in the business show off what they've found. Okay, so let's get right to it. Wi-Fi. Why is it always the #1 target? Well, to put it simply, it's become this ubiquitous battleground. I mean, think about it. It's in our homes, our coffee shops, airports, offices. It is literally everywhere. This quote from the source material absolutely nails it. Wi-Fi's vulnerability really comes down to two key things. It's everywhere, and the data it carries is incredibly valuable. It's the pipeline for our emails, our bank transactions, our private messages, and that makes it a super attractive target. And, we've come a long, long way from the days of simple password cracking. Today's attacks are way more sophisticated. They're designed to go after even the latest and greatest security protocols, like WPA2 and even WPA3. So what that really means is that the old ways of defending ourselves just aren't enough anymore. So how does an attack actually kick off? Well, it all starts with something called reconnaissance, or recon for short. The best way to think about it is like a thief casing the joint before a big heist. The attacker first has to scout the digital terrain just to see what they're up against. Now, the thing you really need to get about reconnaissance is that it's a passive act. The attacker is just listening. They're quietly mapping out the entire wireless landscape around them. They're not trying to break in yet. They're just gathering intel on networks, devices, and any potential weak spots before they make their move. And this is exactly the kind of intel they're looking for. They're grabbing all the network names, the SSIDs. They're checking to see what kind of encryption is being used. They're measuring signal strengths. And this is a big one, they are logging the unique MAC addresses of every single device that's connected. Heck, even knowing who made the access point can give them a clue about which exploits might work. Okay, so they know what information they want, but what are they using to find it? Let's take a look inside the attacker's toolkit. This is where the threat starts to feel a lot more real. We're talking about the specific hardware and software of the trade. So on the hardware side, the #1 most essential piece of gear is a wireless adapter that can be put into monitor mode. See, your normal laptop adapter only pays attention to traffic that's meant for you. But an adapter in monitor mode, it's like a scanner for the airwaves. It can see and capture all the Wi-Fi packets flying through the air, no matter who they're for. And the tech for this has just exploded. These modern multifunction tools are compact, they're powerful, and they have made these kinds of attacks more accessible than ever. I mean, what used to require a bunch of bulky, expensive gear can now be done with a little device that fits right in your pocket. It's basically put these powerful tools in pretty much anyone's hands. But of course, hardware is only half the story. You need the software to make it all work. Some of the big names you'll hear about are the Aircrack NG suite. That's kind of the workhorse for capturing and analyzing packets. Then you've got Kismet, which is fantastic for passively sniffing out networks. And there are even tools like Wiggle Wi-Fi that can map out where these networks are located in the real world. Okay, so the attacker has done their homework. They've got their tools all ready to go. What's the first active move they're likely to make? Well, very often it's a deauthentication attack. And it's a surprisingly simple but incredibly effective way to just force a device off of a network. What's so wild about this attack is that it's not really a hack in the way you might think. It actually exploits a legitimate management feature that's built right into the Wi-Fi protocol itself. The protocol needs a way for a router to tell a device, hey, you're not connected anymore. This attack just forges that command, kicking any target they choose right off the network. So, why would an attacker bother doing this? Well, there are usually three main reasons. It could be a simple denial of service attack, just to cause chaos. More strategically, though, it forces a device to reconnect. And in that moment of reconnection, the attacker can try to capture the password handshake. And finally, it can be the perfect setup for a much more complex attack, like an evil twin, which, don't worry, we'll get to later in the series. And the process itself, it's very methodical. It really just starts with two simple steps. First, they put their adapter into that special monitor mode we talked about. And second, they scan the area to pinpoint the target's unique address, its BSS ID, and what channel it's on. Once they have that info, they're ready to go. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that these attacks are not random. Not at all. They follow a very logical, step-by-step process. It always starts with listening, and then, and only then, does it move to acting. If you can understand that listen, then act playbook, you're halfway to understanding the threat itself. But let's think about this for a second. Reconnaissance is just listening. A deauthentication attack is just a disruption. Sure, it kicks someone offline, but it doesn't actually get the attacker inside the network. And that leaves us with the big question we'll tackle next time. What happens when an attacker really wants to get in? We'll see you then.